Shout out to my cousin for the hoodie. If you're looking for a nice, cozy, very cozy hoodie, Humble Minority Collection is here, baby. Okay. If you would like one, I will leave a link of a website in the bio. Alright, so let's just get into it. First of all, welcome back, Instagram. Welcome back, Instagram. That's what I want to say. But okay, so right now we're going through a dark moon in Virgo. So basically, to me, that definitely would just took place today with the biggest social media outlets, Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram. They are connected, right? So those big three just went down for a while, and then what's being shared or stated right now as facts is that all the information that is currently online was being basically like snapshotted to be saved for later. So in true Virgo fashion, shout out to us Virgo placements, screenshots, save your screenshots, okay? Have receipts for when things gotta be pulled up again. You never know. Okay, and that's what, shout out to Ralph Smart. He was talking about that on his live. I think it's still going on right now, but he was discussing that on his live on YouTube. But Dark Moon Virgo gives us a chance to complete the cycle that started with the new moon Virgo as we move into a new moon in Libra. So this dark moon or balsamic phase basically allows us to reset our vision or our sight or perspective, rather, because Virgo is a mutable sign. So it allows us to gain a new perspective on things in a way that we haven't before. And because Virgo is an earth mutable sign, it allows us to not only ground ourselves in a healthier situation, it also allows us to think differently about how we process information from this point forward when it comes to Mercury, things that we are connected to or we think about in connection to what's most closest to us. Now also Virgo is about facts and figures, but it also talks about health. It's also related to the Virgin Mary, being that it is a divine feminine energy earth. This talks about us having our right to choose to do what we want to do with our life and not allowing us to give that freedom away to someone else, especially because it's talking about Virgin Mary and that constellation or area in the sky where the womb of the world kind of like sits, and it looks like it's giving birth to, like the I think it's the Light Seers deck. The Empress card is, a woman in her womb, or her baby belly is in the shape of the actual globe or world. So basically this is a time for us to culminate everything we got from the new moon in Virgo until now, the dark moon Virgo, and we're going to shift into new moon Libra. So I did a new moon Libra new moon Libra, Mercury was still retrograde blog post on my website, which the link, getyourlemonade.com, will be available in the description for YouTube, but I'm on Instagram, so it is available in my bio. But basically, we got the sun, Mars, and the moon, all three kind of like conjuncting in Libra during this new moon, occurring pretty early in the morning Eastern time. And this breaks down to a universal 12 or 3 day. So let me just take a look at that number for a second in here so I can share it with you. And it says, 3 combines the qualities of 1 and 2. It's a fascinating, diversified vibration carrying the qualities of manifestation and self-expression. The ion, which sprang into existence from 0, sought to assert its individuality under 1 and felt the attraction of others under 2, cooperation, attraction, relationships, now awakened to its need for social interaction. 3 is the need to communicate and become involved in the pure joy of living. Through its exuberant response to life, 3 bestows sunny radiance and enthusiasm upon all. 3 is the extrovert whose personal magnetism draws others and inspires them to expand and grow. It is the performer, Libra, who possesses a innate appreciation of pleasure, romance, art, and beauty. All Libra. Its creative imagination allows all things to be possible. It therefore becomes involved in many emotions and experiences. 3 is friendly and expansive, thriving on sociability and variety. If any of the numbers could be called happy-go-lucky, it would be the effervescent 3. Keywords: expansive, sociable, dramatic, communicative, diversified, creative. So with 12 being the number of completion, so we have the ability to completely express an abundance of energy pertaining to communication, or like the happy-go-lucky vibe. However, what I also wrote was that I don't remember the exact degree the triple conjunction in Capricorn took place in January of 2020, but Capricorn and Libra square. So we having 3 planets that squared the energy of 3 planets last year in the beginning of the year in January, and then they had like a bit of another conjunction in March. So it's like, to me, I see that as, especially with the social media going on, I feel like there's a break in socializing that's occurring right now that hasn't happened before. And we are in a need where we want to be more expressive, we want to be more communicative, and finding different ways to do that. And when someone knows that you're trying to talk to them, or someone is in a relationship, just personally, even speaking, at any time I'm in a point in my life where I'm in a good relationship or I'm in a good space when it comes to love life or relationships, I tend to attract more people. The reason why you attract more people when you're in a good and happy and healthy relationship is because the energy that's being fostered between the 1 and 2 creates a third energy that people want to be a part of, and they're, like the book was saying, it's magnetic, so you're attracted to it. So now what just took place was the 1 and the 2 the 1s and 2s that created social media, which first was us, especially millennials. We made that popular, and we also made it like a requirement almost in order to be, able to communicate with people. Like, do you have social media? You got Facebook, you on Instagram, like you on Twitter. Like, we took over this shit, kind of, pretty much. And because there are informations out here that are very aware and equipped to manipulate that tool or that tactic, especially now in this day and age, we definitely want to be more careful about what is being expressed and how we will express ourselves, because it's facing a higher scrutiny than it has in the past. because of what took place January 2020. So it's kind of like time kind of like stopped back then, and then now we kind of like having a shift where things are coming back into some sort of like swinging. Like it's like we're kind of coming into this new moon and everything's kind of like the scales are kind of like this, and it's gonna take a while for things to settle down, especially when Virgo is very like dark moon Virgo. Like the shadow side of Virgo is to be very anxious, very nervous, very nerve-wracked, very irritable, and all of us could be feeling that, especially people who use things like this as a source of income or a way to connect to people that allows them to gain a source of income. But this was basically just a test, just like how it was last year, to see how connected to reality you actually are, and what reality are you actually connected more to. Are you connected to the reality of you, or are you connected to the reality of someone else? And during that new moon in Libra, it's going to have some quincunxes and conjunctions, but the biggest quincunx is going to happen when Uranus in retrograde in Taurus, exact at 13 degrees. And a quincunx is baby it's basically like being like irritated or annoyed with something and just finding like trying to find peace, you know, and maybe not so much peace but more so balance, trying to balance yourself out so that you don't allow your nerves, Uranus, to become so overbearing that you don't know how to ground yourself down into the reality of the situation. So this can happen either you evoking some type of change, or someone is poking to make some type of transformation or change in your environment. Being that I'm an Aquarius moon, I tend to do that myself, where it's like I kind of like shock people, but it's not intentional, but it's just me utilizing the energy I was born with. And right now Uranus is in Taurus, so everyone is feeling this energy where certain people thought certain things would go a certain way, and then they're being shocked with the reality. Okay, it might not go as well or as planned as you thought it was. So be more open to different ideas of how to connect, how to, you know, do relationships now, especially, you know, ones that are, again, the closest to you, Mercury, where you want to communicate with them often. Find a way to communicate with those closer to you, especially your family members or whoever just, you know, is someone you want to communicate with often. Find a way to communicate with them that does not involve social media. Find a way to communicate with them that does not involve the internet. It'll make your life a little bit more realistic when it comes to reality, because I mean, people share posts about how it wasn't that long ago that, you know, manual slave labor, as far as being in the, you know, cotton fields and picking fruit and cotton, tobacco, sugar, like all that stuff, how it was back then was not really that long ago. It wasn't that long ago. So how much more so not that long ago was the internet created? For this time, civilization, at least. Okay, so we want to keep that in mind. Also, so we're going to go through this new moon in Libra. Mercury retrograde is going to touch this moon as well. It's going to conjunct at 20 degrees. So conjunction are powerful energy points. So we will definitely be viewing with this moon are whatever's been hidden, or whatever fears or internal private, you know, private thoughts, seeing other people's private thoughts, or knowing other people knowing our private thoughts, or just looking at our own internal private thoughts and fears, and communicating that with a divine masculine energy, which is fire and air. So Libra is the air energy, so it is a divine masculine energy. However, being that it's associated with Venus, which is divine feminine energy. It has a way of drawing you in, and you know, it does appreciate, you know, the finer things in life. Love Libras, love them, love Libras. But with it being the moon and Mercury being retrograde, it's like the moon does associate with Cancer, but it does associate with childhood memories in the past, like the fourth house roots. So it's like you're starting to recall very powerfully incidents when it comes to one-on-one partnerships that you need to be reviewing. And because it's happening on the new moon, it gives you an opportunity to, you know, start to get the scales took from going like this to starting to, you know, get to a point where it's as close to equal as we can get. And this is not, Mercury retrograde does bring back the past, but it's not for you to re-engage with the past. Sometimes new things pop up during Mercury retrograde to make you think about the past, things that took place. So even if it's something old coming back as something new, which can also happen, it's getting you to think about what already has taken place in your life, and you need to utilize your processing of information to take your time and don't rush making decisions with anything, because you don't know everything. Even with these deep, powerful internal messages coming through to you, you're still going to, Mercury is still retrograde at the end of the day. And this is happening on 10/6, so it's a 10 month, of course, because it's October. So this is a time for us to, you know, allow spirit to take the lead and the reins and how things are going to be handled from this point moving forward, so we can go and get better flow with going through the double-digit months and up until we start over. But with it being the 6th day, this is about us being responsible. So if there is anything pertaining to the law, government, or any, you know, one-on-one situations where you need to balance it out or it needs to be worked out, that will be zeroed in as well, especially with Mars and the moon conjuncting right after the sun at 14 degrees, and it's going to be exposing your Chiron and retrograde energy that you've been holding in or working with as well. And Chiron is currently in Aries, so it's going to oppose the moon, which is going to give us, you know, some type of ability to see how we can choose to, you know, be one in our identity and still be ourselves with another person. You don't have to choose. There is ability to be both. Sometimes people throw away their identity when they're around another person, and Libra being the air sign, it does require space, because sometimes we can be around people a lot, and we end up taking up and picking up a lot of their mechanics, their ways of speaking, doing things, you know, tone, a lot of things. We could pick up a lot of things from them, either consciously or subconsciously, and you could start to lose yourself in the relationship, and you want to be wary of that because you don't ever want to get lost into another person, especially their shadow. So yeah, we're going to be evaluating that, as well as our awareness of when we do that and how we have done that in the past. And then the trine over to Jupiter in Aquarius retrograde will give us the easy flow of higher dimensional information coming in to help us to understand how we can grow from this point. How are we going to allow the karma of relationships that we've had in the past to teach us something new, because now with the new moon being in Libra, this is time for new relationships. So how are you now going to relate to yourself? How do you want to relate to yourself as if you are meeting yourself? You know, if someone was coming to meet you, if you were coming to meet yourself, what do you, so what is it about yourself that you would want to hide from someone? Or what do you feel, if you were coming to meet yourself, what was something you did you wouldn't want yourself to know off the bat? What's something you will want to acquire more time and conversation with a person before you felt okay to share with them? Like, that's something to think about. The moon will be squaring Pluto retrograde, so whatever relationship issues you've had in the past, like that string is being cut completely. Cut. It's like over. So if something has been over for a long time, whatever relationship you have to anything, whether it's food, whether it's alcohol, smoking, another person, or certain type of situations, whatever relationships that you've been ready to get rid of or end, there is going to be kind of like a horn in your face telling you that, yeah, this is over, or yes, this type of way of doing things with yourself is completely dead and over with. So, and then moving on to Scorpio, the moon will be going in a Scorpio will help us with progressing through things that we have hidden about ourselves when it comes to relationships. So it's like basically this new moon is us starting a new relationship with ourselves and our intimate selves, and you having to purge. You get a glimpse of all the things that kind of make you tick or uncomfortable, or things you need to heal, or things that make you actually happy or make you feel powerful or powerless in relationships. You get a good scan through that as the moon go through these conjunctions and oppositions, trines, squares. But then when the moon transitions into Scorpio, it's like, okay, now take an even deeper look at new relationships or new starts in your life, because and then Mercury still retrograde, so we still processing information from whatever happened in the last few weeks of September. So we get into the depths of that, and we're holding up the mirror of the new moon against it, like, okay, so this is how we do relationships now, but remember that one day, when this happened or this relationship took place, and it reminds you of what happened, this day. So it's going to be a lot of revealing of some intimate secrets, but the purpose is where, moon goes into Sag, we get a higher message over everything that had to take place in that lesson, and we travel into a different state of mind, and we start to work on things, moon in Capricorn, where we face the responsibilities of our actions. Okay, so what angel guys message do we have for this new moon in Libra? What message do we have for this new moon in Libra? Don't let the internet get you down. Start to connect to that sound. All right. I just saw the real one, and that's not a card I see very often in this deck, so that's pretty cool. Alright, so we got Wolverine. You're a lot tougher than you think you are. Okay. I want to get two more. We got the Seagull. Now is the time for deep emotional healing. It's time to reconnect with the higher self, develop a better relationship with the reality that's beyond the physical. That's what this part of the year is all about for the next 6 months. Developing a better relationship with those energies that are on the other side, that are here to strengthen us, protect us, share their wisdom with us. And the 10 month is about us allowing ourselves to be led in that direction, because the 11th month is us cooperating with them, and then the 12th month is having that complete alliance. And we got the Unicorn. Indulging your creative, imaginative, and magical side through some form of artistic expression. And then this Chimpanzee at the bottom. Use both your intuition and your intellect to solve the problem or get answers to your question. Alright, so let's this is coming from this messages deck with the animal spirit guides. So let's use this one to look at each of these real quick. So let's see here. I'm glad I didn't do that show, because even just doing 20 minutes of talking here, I definitely would have felt some type of way after talking for 8 hours. So yeah, shout out to God in them. Alright, you're a lot tougher than you think. Let's get a card to go with this. You're a lot tougher than you think you are. Ooh, work. Okay, the Eight of Pentacles is Sun and Virgo card. So yeah, new moon. The new moon was us planting seeds about what it is that we wanted to work on. What do we want to see to completion? Allowing ourselves to edit Mercury retrograde, what isn't working for us, and releasing it and replacing it with something else that is going to be in direct alignment with our divine assignment. So now is the time for deep emotional healing. Jupiter in Libra, 4 swords. So that's is very well known as the meditation card. So meditation is basically you getting yourself to a point where you allow your thoughts to just roll like tape or a movie, and just let it roll without sticking or attaching to anything specifically. Just let it flow. Don't try to stop it or resist. Just let it flow. Let it flow. And it is air, so of course air blows. It doesn't attach to anything or try to make it stick. But because it's Jupiter attached, we're going to expand in that Libra energy of refinement, grace, justice, fairness. We're going to expand that energy with ourselves first in the divine, because that's the relationship that you have, is between you and the divine, and everything else comes next. Okay, so it's time for deep emotional healing. Start learning new techniques that make you feel like you're in a meditative state. I said this Mercury retrograde, I was definitely going to spend it in meditation or with meditation music as much as possible to keep calm. So anybody else want to give it a try, go ahead and knock yourself out. But yeah, learn what to respond to, what not to respond to, what to give yourself to, what not to give yourself to. Because, ooh, and then we got the 7 here. So it's like taking the time to learn how to do something and then developing a new habit. So over time, you'll get to see with that new habit that was developed during the new moon in Virgo. Now you get to, relax out of that over mental state that Virgo can put us in, especially during the dark moon in Virgo. We get to learn how to calm the mind, calm the body, connect to the soul. And then we get to be creative. The creativity comes in. So indulge in your creative, imaginative, and magical side. Ooh. Come Scorpio moon, we'll be ready. Come that Scorpio moon, we'll be ready to indulge. Because something is going to change permanently when it comes to relationships. And we are about to find out real soon how that's about to go. So, yeah. I'm going to put all of these together like a little puzzle. I got 8, 4, and 13. Another 4. So 8, 4, 4. Okay. Yeah, so I do see this as, when it comes to learning new techniques or learning or choosing to look at life like it's something brand new, that can be discovered and get to working on it how the way we want to, because Virgo is about making choices, our own choices, and not giving up our ability to choose to somebody else to choose for us. Because Capricorn energy, Saturn energy is about authority. So at this point in our life, we have the ability to govern ourselves or allow someone else to continue to govern us, even though they don't really give us the best information. So, and a lot of people in our generation, Pluto Scorpio generation, understands that more than anybody. But yeah, we have a new lease on life, Ace of Pentacles, New Moon Virgo, where we get to work on something new and stop trying to fix people and situations that doesn't require us to do anything. Pisces, full moon, and get into a meditative state. You may not have to, you may be able to take a literal vacation, but this is really about you having philosophies to use in your life to keep you expanding on how to have win-win situations with people. And again, that starts with a deep emotional healing, and I feel like that healing is more about healing your relationship with the reality that God is real. And we've been living in a very divided time where people don't believe in a higher power, but they believe in science. Like, science wouldn't exist without a higher power. That's just point blank. Now, that infinite power that we're all connected to is one infinite power that we all play out individually, which is why ego was you know, what it is, because it allows me to have my shell and you have your shell. That's what ego does. But we don't live by ego. It's a shield. That's it. It's just a shield. That's it. So we need to deeply heal our relationship with the divine right now, because creativity is going to be key. It's going to be necessary in moving forward when it comes to monetary gains, material gains. We have to refine this new moon in Libra. What is of actual value? We may have a lot of new ideas coming out of situations that completely just got cut from the scene. Like, just you probably weren't. And then Uranus and Taurus is that irritating factor, that discrimination is taking place. So things, you will feel a need to discriminate against certain things because it's an irritation to you. So you want to get away from it. You want to get away from things that you know, Virgo mind, you need to cut that part out. That specific little thing that's irritating to you, you know exactly what it is. Dark moon Virgo going into new moon Libra, cut it out, remove it, let it go, and transform that space that you now have into something that you create with your own intelligence. Okay, and that's what this card was talking about here. Intuition and intelligence is how you're going to move forward. So you may need to learn something new, but it's something that you can get a lot of gains from in the long term. Taurus energy right here, long term success. Excuse me. So this is a good time for us to start, you know, making sure you do mental or make sure you copyright anything that is considered, you know, intellectual property. Your routines. But I'm thinking mostly what's on my mind is intellectual property. That being like a big thing coming in the future, because we're all selling knowledge and sharing knowledge very freely. to a point where it is an industry within itself. But you know, we are sharing one energy. So all of the ideas that you could come in with, I could come in with, they're just in the ethers for anybody to grab. So there of course there's always gonna be more than one spoon, more than one phone, more than one table. But be open to the fact that yeah, that's the case, but you could still do it in a way that has never been done before. You could still revolutionize the game with however you choose to move forward. Just know that you will have to allow yourself to learn along the way. We're not going to know everything. We will never know everything. We really don't know shit. So that leaves a lot of room for you to humbly accept divine guidance during the month of October, and to allow that balance with the divine to keep you, in a sense, at peace. Which means you're getting rid of the bullshit war. You allow yourself to eliminate the refuge of leftover warring with yourself. Allow God to step in. Okay? So that's usually my time. Yeah. I don't want to go too long because it does take a while to upload to YouTube. But yeah, so thank you for tuning into this message. I appreciate you very, very much. I'm grateful. Also, I will be making some updates and changes with my website, things of that nature. So definitely look out for that. I will be having a Black Friday sale on my readings. I will be posting those as well. Yeah, so other than that, I'm gonna get some tea, hit the sack with some meditation music. And again, thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to catch up on my blog and follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. All right.